Hello everyone and welcome to another video on this channel. I'm your host Adam Ferns and this is Beast Quest Beast View Series 22, The Lost Beast of Makai. From what I heard from Lucas's comments about this series before I read it, he said that this series is a great series, has a good villain and actually a good batch of beasts that I should be excited for. I was on series 15 or 16 then, I can't remember, quite a while ago, but I was excited for it, and when I finally got my hands on that series, I see why. The beast designs are actually pretty good. Actually the best batch of designs I've seen in a while. Anyway, so without any further ado, I'm going to need to turn the fan off because it's going to blow my page over. Let's get right into this with the first book of the series. Mannix, the Saber-Tooth Terror. Design is an 8 out of 10. As you know, I judge it on the cover design without even opening the book. So, yeah. So, it looks intimidating to me. I liked the little saber-tooth metal blade kind of thing. It looks like that. And the chains wrapping around its neck and the manacles it has going around its wrists. Yeah. Abilities are 7 out of 10. It has a thick hide. It can use its tooth as a sword, which is kind of unique, and its tail can be used as a whip along with sharp claws. That is all I have to say for its abilities. And its fight was an 8 out of 10. This one was an interesting fight. It essentially showed Mannix having no weakness apart from fire. So naturally what Tom did was lead him to the top of the Red Steel Forge, which is where they fought, and knock him into a giant furnace, where Mannix slowly, yet rather quickly, burnt to death. Okay. And that is all for Mannix, actually. That was actually pretty quick. The total for Mannix is 23 out of 30. It's a good start, great scores all around actually. One problem is though, why have a beast weak to fire in a forge? Like, Lucas did not point that out when it came to the review on this, on Mannix anyway. But I was asking myself when I found out it was weak to fire, why is it in a forge then? That's a bit weird, isn't it? So yeah. All these beasts actually have a job to do, actually. Well, not really. But where they're fought is actually vital to the main villain's plan, who's Rhea, which is apparently Sanpeio's and Kenta's daughter. I was not aware of that, actually. Rhea had a plan, basically, to build an entire pirate fleet to charge into Avantia, taking it over, ruling it and all that. And Mannix's, the Red Steel Forge was used to craft, this isn't Minecraft, to make the weapons for the pirates, so cutlasses, guns, cannons and all that. Basically to get the battle ready to use their weapons against the Avantian group. And Mannix's job basically was to snack on anyone that wasn't doing their job. So, yeah, okay. Moving on. We have Lana, the Swarming Menace. Design is a 9 out of 10. Great design, actually. And it actually looks pretty intimidating to me. And then with the book cover seeing floating islands everywhere, I was like, what the hell is this? I later found out that their battle was at the Elixir Wells. And that makes sense because then that's actually the fuel for how the ships are flying and the islands are flying. And that's also how Sanpeio got around in Series 8. Not the Tree of Being. The Tree of Being was used to make a portal to go to other realms to take them over. Lucas said that in his review where he got a bit confused. So I'm just clearing it up. Yeah, that's what the Tree of Being was for. The Elixir Wells, the Elixir, I guess, is what makes the ships fly. The abilities are an 8 out of 10. It has a tough outer shell, sharp claws. It can fly. Its wings can beat so fast that it creates a very harsh buzzing sound, and also creates gusts of wind like Hawkeye. And probably my favourite ability, because we haven't seen it since Series 16, is that Lana can go into a swarm form and attack her victims from there, and then reassemble herself back into this form. That was last seen from Solix, the Swarming Menace, I believe it is, in Series 16. Also, a bug-like beast. Yeah, that is Larnac for you. And the fight was an 8 out of 10. It basically had Tom surfing on his shield to get to Larnac. Found out that her underbelly was a weakness, but instead of going for that, he lured her underneath one of the island platforms where that exploded and tons of rock just crushed Larnac to pieces. That's grim, and but at least Larnac had a reason for being there, basically the same as Mannix. Feed on anyone that's not doing their job, or kill any trespassers. It failed. So the total for Larnac is 25 out of 30. Honestly, really shocking that I got 25 actually. Because I did not think it would get that high, because I was a bit zoned out when it came to the abilities, but when I saw Lucas's review on it, along with summarising it with the abilities I gave it, I saw for it, I was like, yeah, an 8, like, they're not great, but it's okay, so yeah. So 25 out of 30. Great beast with nothing bad about it. Abilities were used before, but it was used effectively, making a hard-to-kill beast with the tough shell and the swarming form. Now, moving on. This one I was hesitant on ever since I saw it, because this beast, Durog Hammer of the Jungle, fits in with a certain topic of beasts which I'm not a big fan of, them being monkey beasts. Claw the Giant Monkey, Tick-on the Jungle Master, and Drogan the Jungle Menace, I believe, all of which didn't get great reviews from me. They all got under 20 with their score. Durog, however, I was hoping would break that chain, and with the score I gave it for design, it did. 9 out of 10. I'm not even joking, it got a 9 out of 10. I liked, it's unique to have a monkey having more than 4 limbs instead of having 8, along with a tail which can be used as a damn hammer, which as we see in the book, this is going into abilities now, which is an 8 out of 10, is used to snap trees like a twig. Durog can rip trees out of the ground and throw them like a javelin, and its tail can be used as a hammer or whip to hit his victims. They're rather simple abilities, but I think I gave it an 8 for the simple reason they are kind of unique. Like, you have not seen a tail being used as a hammer. You have seen a head of a beast being used as a hammer, thank you Crestor, but never a tail. And then a beast being able to rip trees out of the earth and then chuck them like javelins, it's insane, which is actually good for a beast. The fight for Durog was a 9 out of 10. This fight was kind of divided into 2 different fights. The least impressive out of them was actually the final fight, which involved all the people that was captured to pin Durog down. Was this kid's father chopped off Durog's tail where he just died. The one that I liked though was when Tom entered rage mode out of fear that Alina got crushed by a tree. Tom showed no mercy with his speeds, swiping his sword, stabbing it, hitting Durog all over the place. His chest, his wrist, his arms, his hand. Yeah. He didn't really kill it, but it did a lot of damage where Durog had to retreat temporarily, which is what I liked about it. And also, it kind of surprised me that a monkey this big and that strong is able to stand, I guess, at the top of a tree without breaking the branches it's standing on. It baffles me about that anyway. The total for Durog is a 26 out of 30. Easily the best beast so far, with great abilities and so much for a perfect one. And a design and fight being just as good. If it's not obvious to you already, Durog was in a jungle, and his job was basically to rip trees up and make these slaves, I guess. Chop them up for using them to make ships, basically for Rhea's fleet. And moving on to the final beast of this series, Zephyr, the Cursed Siren. Design is a 9 out of 10. It's a great design, very intimidating, the most intimidating beast, in my opinion, I have you know. Yeah, very intimidating, and it looks like a formidable beast. Abilities are an 8 out of 10. It's incredibly fast swimmer. Surprisingly, it's pretty damn big. Sharp claws, a dagger-like hand, and of course sharp teeth, which all count to the scores, along with setting an eerie sound, which was shown in the book, that Lucas didn't take note of though, sorry mate, that can make people weary, make them look around to try and find what's making that sound, but Tom couldn't find it anyway. I'm guessing that is like the siren part where they just lure their victims in. Not as well as Soldier can, but that is an ability from the Zephyr. And the fight was a 9 out of 10. For a beast that I thought would be solely water-based, I didn't have great hopes for its fight. It was solely water-based, but because it absorbs the water, that's another ability, being able to breathe outside water because of the water flowing around inside her body, she's able to come onto the land as well. And it took place in the water, on a cliff, up an anchor chain, and on a boat where her dagger arm got cut off and she exploded. Okay, so the battle took place pretty much everywhere in the Bay of Heroes, and the total from the Zephyr is 26 out of 30. It was actually a really good beast, and the Zephyr's job was to guard the ships before Rhea let them out, and due to the amount of elixir being highly combustible on each ship, that was used to blow all the ships up. Rhea was presumably on the main ship when it blew up, and was presumably engulfed in the flames, burning her, killing her. Anyway, Zephyr, 26 out of 30, an excellent finale for a great series and a great beast it is. And actually, all these beasts were a great batch, actually. Moving on to the totals now. Designs is a 35 out of 40. Rather even designs, all intimidating, but Mannix is the worst. But the beast score for design, the best beast score for design so far. The best score for design so far. And I think it's going to be a hard one to beat because it's virtually nearly perfect. Just 5 points off. Abilities are 31 out of 40. Compared with previous seasons, one of the best, with great abilities on each beast. Some were seen before, but not very often, and others were unique, especially Mannix's sword tooth thing, along with Durog's javelin tree throwing. And the fight was 34 out of 40. Best score for fight so far, and deserving of it as well. All of them were great, and with the best score for designs, abilities, and fights, I think it's fair to say the grand total is the best so far, which it is. We have 100 for the score. Best score so far, obviously, and deserving of it. It was all the beasts. Deserving of it, as all the beasts were great, and got better towards the end, and I need to say they did. Durog and Zephyr were absolutely great beasts, and Durog I did not think I'd like a lot at all, but I did, which is actually saying something. So with the ranking, I think it's pretty obvious. Mannix is the worst in my opinion, but that's not to say that I don't like this book, because if I'm comparing it with the ranking I did a couple days ago, I would probably put it in part 3, which is not that bad at all. Probably where about series 19 got put in with that ranking. So it's not actually that bad. It's a great book. I really mean it. Moving on, we have Lana the Swarming Menace. A bit weird to have a bug beast this low in the ranking, but when the final 2 books wrap up the series quite well and made it a good series, finished it as a great series, Lana just fell to the bottom. It's better than Mannix at saying something, and it really stands by what I said about the grand total. It gets better as it goes on. Durog is next. Now, it's already a miracle that Durog, a monkey beast, is somehow better. Sorry. It's somehow a miracle that Durog, a monkey beast, is not in 4th place, let alone nearly 3rd. Actually, hold on. Drogon was the worst, Tikron was the worst, and Claw was the worst. Okay, it's a miracle that Durog didn't even get last place. Could have got 3rd place. But no, it's actually the 2nd best book of this series. I need to be straight with you. And Larnac, along with Durog, probably make it into part 2 of the ranking if it was there. And this one, I do not know where I'd put you. Zephyr is the best piece of this series, but I actually do not know where I'd put it in the ranking. Either part 1 or part 2, but I'm not sure whereabouts it will be. Anything I need to say about Zephyr? By far the best piece of the series, and the most intimidating one at that. Deserving of its score for 9 out of 10, and its fight being pretty much everywhere in the bay, making it an interesting fight. What I'm looking for to have a fight take place not in just one area, but in all over the place in that area, though, if that makes sense. But anyway, with that being said, that is actually all for this review. That's all for this time. So if you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below. Be expecting Series 23 to be reviewed very soon, because I'm on the last book of that series. And I'll see you next time.